Hello everyone, I'm Ben Fellis, the digital lead for Lancashire Inspire Services. I'm here today to speak to Jess. Now, Jess is relatively new, although she's just told me that she started in November, and I thought it was a bit earlier than that, but regardless, never mind. Hello, Jess, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good, you?
Good. So Jess, I've literally just had a look on your job title and stuff, and you are a recovery worker, right?
Yeah, recovery coordinator, specialising in alcohol.
All right, okay. And you are based where exactly?
Accrington Inspire.
Okay. How are you finding it? Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Good, good. So before we get into a little bit more around your role, I just wanted to ask you a few questions to you about how you decided to work for Inspire, if you don't mind. I just wanted to know how did you hear about Inspire and what was your knowledge about us prior to applying? Did you know anything about us, or how did that come about?
I knew of the service. I live in Aki, so I saw it all the time.
Hmm.
But I didn't. It was one of those type of jobs that I always thought, oh, bet that's interesting, but I never really thought I'd be qualified to do it. And then when I worked on a programme that supported people getting back into work who had multiple barriers, so that included substance misuse. So I
Yeah.
had some people on my caseload who had alcohol or drug-related problems. So I kind of dipped my toe in then. And then, sounds really sad, but I had a friend that I was working with and she went back to uni, and when she left, I was just really sad. So I was like, I'm gonna get another job. I don't like it. So I looked and I saw the one at Inspire, and it was like I thought it does sound really interesting, and I'll just try. I thought, what's the worst that'll happen? They say no, because I genuinely didn't think I had the right qualifications for it, but turns out I did.
Okay. So I presume that you saw the advert on online, was it? Or did you see it on
I think
Facebook or
so.
something?
I think I saw it on Indeed.
All right, okay, okay.
I think I did. Yeah.
Right. So you saw it on Indeed
Yeah.
and you open it up, and I guess we kind of all get a bit overwhelmed at times, especially when we look at the essential criteria, which I presume I'm kind of guessing that feeling that happened to you because you did say at the beginning, I don't know if I were qualified or not, So
Yeah.
so you saw that essential criteria, but how did you go about it then? So was there any kind of like tips or tricks that you did when you were completing that application form, or were you are you quite a natural when it comes to application forms and filling them in?
I kind of looked through the job specs and thought about what I had that matched it, even if
Mm.
I was stretching it a bit. I thought, well, I kind of could understand that, or I could understand the process of that because I understand the other things. So I'm quite methodical in that I'll go into Word, type it all out, read it 100 times, come back to it a bit later, and it's quite funny because I read the closing date, and for some reason in my head got it wrong. So I started the application and was doing the like personal bit, and then I went to finish it the next day and it closed. I know, so I
Oh,
kind of was like, oh, I thought, well, again, I'll try. So I emailed, I think it was John Robinson's email was on it. So I emailed him and just said, I'm really sorry. I went to put in the application, I missed the personal section. And he was really nice and was like, just send it and I'll add it on. So I
oh.
suppose it does make an impression.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose, yeah. And I guess like in terms of for anyone listening and watching, the tips and tricks is probably not to do that then,
Yeah,
and
probably
keep an
don't
eye out
do
on
it,
the closing date
actually.
then. Okay, so I you kind of like raised some good points there, and I have some like friends or some people who I know who've seen job adverts and they've, especially from Inspire, and they've gone, oh, I'd really like to do that job, or it sounds really interesting, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've got the skills for it. And what I've kind of like said to him is there any kind of like transferable skills that they have in within the role that they do, which can kind of match up to some of the stuff that Inspire are asking on the essential criteria? And like what you said there, there's no harm in trying, is there? Because,
Yeah.
and I guess it kind of worked in this situation. So yeah, I definitely kind of recommend people like actually just looking back and maybe just having a look at some of those skills that they actually have that can be transferred over. All right, so that's good. So you sent in the application form and a little bit late, and managed to get through. And what happened then? I presume then you got an interview offer. Tell me a little bit about that kind of what happened? What kind of happened next?
Well, I had an interview. It was just at the end of COVID restrictions, so I had a face-to-face interview at Inspire.
Hmm.
It was with John and Christy and service user reps. There's 3 people. I'd never done an interview with 3 people before as well. So that
Overwhelming.
were a bit daunting, really. But I just said I was a bit that I've never had an interview with 3 people. I don't know who to look at. But I found that really nice. But I'm not very good at interviews, so I came out going, "Oh, that were awful." But
Did
then
you?
I thought it must not have been. But I think we're always our worst critics, aren't we? So we pick things apart like that.
Yeah, definitely. Did you have so did you say that was face to face? Because I didn't know whether it would have been on a computer or not, because obviously COVID and everything. I didn't know at what stage. Did you say it was face to face?
Yeah, that was face to face. That was in August last year, and it was
Yeah.
face to face at Inspire. Yeah.
Okay. And did you have something that's called a VBI interview or not?
Yeah, that was about, I think it was about a week or 2 weeks later, and that was over Zoom.
Right. Okay. So I think one question that we get from people who have been applying is VBI. What is that? What were your first impressions on, like, when you got this request to come back in to do this VBI interview? What did you know what a VBI interview already was?
No, I'd never done one like that. But when they sent the emails saying that I'd been invited to it, it had like breakdown of what it was and what had happened, what to expect. So I found that all right. To be fair, I found that quite comfortable because it's just talking about yourself for an hour really and your experiences and relating them to how you'd fit that job spec. So I quite enjoyed the VBI.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it is a completely different kind of style, and because I've actually been a VBI interviewer, I did it for a few years, and it's all about like trying to get them values out of people. But so we've had mixed responses when I've done interviews, because sometimes people think you're trying to catch them out, but you're really not. You're trying to get an example. So it could be something as simple as tell us about a time when you've I don't know, dealt with an angry client or a customer and how you dealt with that. And I think sometimes people may think, oh, they're trying to catch me out, so I need to like give them the textbook answer, and it's really not, because we might only ask like one simple question like that, but then you give your example, and then there's a lot of following on questions, isn't there? Like, how did that make you
Yeah.
feel? Would you have done anything differently? And it's just trying to work out like your emotional intelligence. Did you show empathy? That sort of stuff. So it is a really good way of getting to know a little bit more about that person who you're recruiting. And is that how you kind of felt throughout that
Yeah,
process?
it didn't feel formal. It didn't feel like a full interview. It was so there was one question I genuinely didn't know. I couldn't think of anything, and she just said, "Yeah, I couldn't think of anything at all." And she was like, "It's fine. We'll come back to that one." So then I had a bit of time to process it fully, and then I was all right. I could think of something, but
Yeah.
yeah, I thought they were really nice who did the VBI as well. I didn't feel pressured or uncomfortable or anything. It was fine.
No, that's really good to know. So you received a call and they said that you were successful, I presume, because that's why you're here now. Tell me a little bit more about how your first couple of weeks were like. Were you already working somewhere? So did you have to give like a notice or something? And
Yeah, I was still working, so I had to give notice. I
yeah.
found that bit, so the interview and the VBI, that went really quick. I think I heard back from the VBI later that day or the next day. It
Mm,
was the bit after that, I was waiting for the CRB. I had to get 2 references. And the reference that I was working with, she sent that back straight away. But the reference before took ages to come through because one of the managers had left, one was still there, but she worked in a different position. It was
mm,
kind of chasing her down. So that took a while.
yeah.
But then once all that came through, I started the next week. So
Oh,
it
good.
was,
So I guess you were kind of like chomping at the bit really to get
yeah,
started.
yeah,
Yeah. So
definitely.
So okay, so you came in that week. What did that kind of look like? What were you doing? Was it like any sort of introduction? Was it shadowing? Were you training? Or
Yeah,
if
so
you
I
want
had
to just let us know.
an induction plan with my manager. So I shadowed different people, but I was taking over somebody else's caseload who was moving over to another section. So I shadowed him for pretty much 2 weeks. I think it might have even been three, because he was waiting on his job starting. So that worked really well because not only did I get to see the processes, and he was really good for shadowing because I learn better hands on. I learn
Mm.
when I start doing it myself, and he was really good for like letting me take the reins and things. But also it meant I got to meet a lot of my caseload before I officially took over. So that was good because I got to do quite a
Like
lot
a
of
handover.
Yeah, I got to do quite a lot of handovers with people face to face with Benji, and yeah, it went really well, my induction.
Good. And I presume that, have you been like given any sort of training? Was there any kind of training packages or something? Maybe might not have happened that particular week, but was there things that you needed to go on? I don't know exactly which ones they were, but I presume there might have been some sort of training provided.
Yeah, there was the ones on Connect Skills where it's like the login ones for like safeguarding,
Yeah,
adult safeguarding, all that sort of stuff. And then there's things like in the building, so like prescription competencies. It's just you go and sit with prescribing for a morning and get all that boxed off and harm reduction going and sitting with them. And it was a lot of it is shadowing and
yeah.
picking things up as you go, really. But in terms of formal training, most of it was online, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I think with the COVID situation, a lot of things have shifted to online working. I do believe they are looking at in classroom settings again. But when you started, it might have probably been a little bit earlier for that to all open up back then. Okay, no, that's good because there's nothing worse than just being thrown in the deep end, I guess, right? And I know that sometimes it might still feel like that when you are when the stabilizers are off the bike and you are actually there doing it on your own. But did you find that you had kind of a good team around you to bounce off and get that support?
Yeah, and it's always, even though I've been there nearly a year now, it's still
Yeah.
ongoing training. There's still things that I'm not 100% sure about that I can always ask about. Even processes, if there's something I'm not too sure about how to do, there's always somebody in the office that I can ask. Or if I want a formal sit down to go through it, I can arrange that with my manager. It's you're never made to feel stupid for asking. Do you know what I mean? There's always that level of support if you want it.
Oh no, that's really good to know. I mean, so just finishing off on this kind of section on recruitment then, is there any kind of like advice that you give to anyone who may be thinking about applying for a job at Inspire?
Um, yeah, I'd say it's similar to me how I wasn't sure if I was ready for it or capable of it, really. I think you're always more capable of things than you assume. We're all our worst critics. And when I look back on it, I'm like, of course I had good experience really when I look back. So I think just don't doubt yourself, and if you get told no the first time, try again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I think everything happens for a reason. I'm one of them people, so I say
So
just give it a go.
So you're kind of like, you said it's 11 months now you're in. Are you like looking back when you were there, when you was like doubting yourself, and now where you are now, you think, I don't know why I doubted myself.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I had massive imposter syndrome when I started. I
No,
felt like
no,
a proper grown up.
no, and that's really good to know because I know there's a lot of people out there that do look at jobs, and I'm guilty of that as well. You see a job, you thought, oh no, well, I well can't do that,
Yeah.
but I bet when you're actually in the role, you're like, no, I've got it. So yeah, no, hats off to that. All right, so we kind of talked about recruitment and moving slightly away with a different tone now. You're relatively new, so we're at 11 months in now. So I'm presuming that some people know a little bit about you, but I just thought it might be a good idea for people to get to know you. I mean, after all, the title of this video is called Getting to Know You. So Jess? I've been calling you Jess, but is it Jess? Is it Jessica, or is it a nickname that people call you? Right. Okay. So it's a good job that I've been calling you by the right name all the way through this. So I've got a few questions, and I know you might not know them all, but we're gonna give it a go. All right, just so that people can get a little bit more about you, Jess. All right. So just a bit of fun. So I've got 10 questions in total. That sounds quite a lot, but I'm sure some of them are quite short answers. What's your favourite way to spend a day off?
Well, a
But
bit of a lion, like a lion.
okay,
Um,
so so you booked annual leave and you
yeah,
want to lie in.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't like to do too. I'm a bit of a homebird. I don't like doing too much on my days off. If I'm honest, probably a bit boring. It depends. I
No.
like having things to look forward to, But I'm not very spontaneous in that sense. I like to have everything planned out and know what I'm doing.
Well, you did say at the beginning you're methodical, didn't you? So
Yeah.
yeah.
So usually, I've got a little girl, so I like spending time with her when I'm off. Because obviously during the week, she's at school, I'm at work. I don't get to
Right.
spend that much time with her during the week. So, and then when she comes home, she just wants to play on the PlayStation or.
And how old is she?
She's 8.
Okay.
So she's at that age where she's quite happy to just entertain herself, and I kind of just follow her around going, talk to me.
So you don't really have a day off when you're spending your day off.
Yeah. I usually like doing something with her
Okay.
and my partner. So I like a good day out, doing something unusual.
Sure. Okay. So second question is, what type of music are you into?
But I'm very eclectic, like everything.
Do you?
Everything, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever's.
Depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah.
My car
I'm.
playlist has
Yeah.
got everything on it.
Yeah.
From like 80s to rap to country, there's literally everything on it.
Yeah. No, I'm exactly the same. I know. All right. So what's the best holiday you have ever took and why?
Favourite place ever.
Where? Sorry, you cut
Disney
out on
World.
me then.
I'm very
Disney
basic.
World.
Yeah, I'm really
Which
basic.
one? Is that the one in
Florida.
Orlando or Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went a few times when I was little and
Well, my sisters are going there next year, so they haven't told the little ones yet, and I'd imagine they'll be absolutely blown away when they get there and stuff. Then would they? I've never been. Right.
I'm
Okay.
desperate to go back.
Oh yeah.
Expensive though, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've told me how much it's costing them, so there's no way I'm going with
No.
them. So, all right, no, that sounds really good. What you did say this at the beginning off air, but what are your hobbies and how did you get into them?
I don't have many hobbies. My cat's are probably my hobbies. I did get really into jigsaws in lockdown. That became a bit of a hobby.
Jigsaws, wow,
Yeah, I got well into it.
rock on.
I know. But no,
Hey, no, there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, that's probably it. I like going to like live music, like gigs and stuff.
Yeah,
But even that, I don't do it that often to really class it as a hobby. Probably a few times a year.
no,
Oh,
no, okay, jigsaws it is.
boring.
No, you might have something on this next question there. What was the last TV show that you binged on? Or not?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you
Oh,
not
probably
know?
what we do in the shadows. I like that. I've
What We
watched that.
Do in the Shadow?
Yeah, that's good.
Is that on Netflix or something?
No, it's on iPlayer.
Hmm.
There was a film of it, and I loved the film. It's one of my favourite films. It's like a mockumentary about vampires, like a comedy. And then
Ah,
they've done a series on it with like different actors. I love it. It's so funny.
I've not heard of that one. I will have to look at that though.
Got Matt Berry in it.
Who?
Matt Berry. You
Nick
know Matt
Berry
Berry?
from Heartbeat.
No, no, I don't know who Matt Berry is. You know we're in IT crowd and
Oh yes, yes, yeah. I'm terrible with names. Faces are, yeah, I
yeah,
totally get, but
Rose
yeah, with
Columbia in
names.
that.
Right, okay.
Really
I think I know which one you mean now. All
good.
right, okay. I'll have to Sky Plus it or something then, and give it a good watch. In the summer, then, question 6 is, so in the summer, would you rather would you would you rather go to the beach or go camping?
Oh, I had a really bad camping experience this summer. It's probably the beach. I'm not a camper.
Uh,
Not a
what
natural
happened?
camper. I
You want to
just hate
expand
it.
on that bad experience of camping?
Just hate it.
The lack of
I
toilets,
got
the
there,
rain, the
I went
cold.
out to put the tent up, and as soon as I got there, my friends that we went with are like pro campers. They go camping every year. As soon as we
Yeah.
put in the tent up, I caught my finger, so that put me in a bad mood. And
Ooh.
then and then it rained the whole day. There was a leak somewhere in the tent, so we got absolutely wet through. I just hated it.
So the beach it is then. Is
Yeah.
there any particular beach that you that you've been on before that you liked, or are you just being quite generic with just
No,
going to a beach?
I like Scarborough Beach. My grandma lived in Scarborough, so we used to go up quite a lot. She lived right on the beach as well, so we were really lucky.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
was
so I
over
like
there
that
not
one.
so long ago. Not Scarborough, Whitby, which is a bit further
Yeah,
down, isn't it? I think. Oh, my geography's
yeah, I think so.
getting a bit bad there. But yeah, no, I have been to Scarborough. Yes. to a festival actually. So no, nice. I thought when you were going to say beach, I thought you were going to say like San Antonio or somewhere in like Hawaii or something. But no, it's nice. The UK beaches. What song always gets you on the dance floor? That's if you do go out.
Juicy by Biggie, I think.
Who?
Juicy by Biggie. There's something about
Okay.
it.
Is it gets you Roxanne, does it?
Every wedding, every Christmas do, I always request it.
Nice. Okay, what's an essential part of your daily routine?
Lunch.
As
Yeah.
simple as that.
My day revolves around my lunch. It's like the first thing I ask in the morning, what are people having for lunch?
Okay. Am I presuming, are you one that skips breakfast then, or
Yeah, I don't really have breakfast, but I have my lunch.
you make up for it in a lunch?
Yeah.
Are you that kind of like the packed lunch kind of girl, or the going out lunch,
Depends
or
what Fridays I tend to get something sharp.
chippy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or take whatever I've had for tea the next day. I always try and make extra so I can take it for my lunch. And that
Yeah.
works out good because then everybody else has food envy of me at lunchtime.
Yeah, I do that as well. It's a great way because like sometimes you can overcook, can't you? You got
Yeah.
leftovers, so yeah, no, put it in freezer and take it in the morning after. Good stuff. What's the first thing? What's the first thing you do after getting home from work?
Probably say hello to my cats. Genuinely, you come to the door and I'm like, my babies, as soon as I walk in.
How many cats are we talking here?
3.
3 cats.
Yeah.
Are they all like house? I'm more of a dog lover than a cat lover, but are the cats like house cats, or do they go out and?
One of them's a house cat by choice. Agoraphobic and just won't go outside.
All right.
And one of them will go out occasionally, but most of the time she did. And the other one's out quite a lot. She's usually the one that when I get in, she's at my car waiting for me.
Oh, do they all get on?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. Okay. Do they bring you like dead animals sometimes?
Yeah, one of them does. She's like Predator. Honestly, every morning she brings us something.
Oh, lovely. There you go. There's your breakfast then. Okay, last question on this one is, can you name 3 things that you can't live without?
My friends.
Yeah.
Food.
Food.
Good food. Good food.
Good
I can't
food.
live on boring food or the same thing all the time.
No.
Music probably.
Music. Okay.
Yeah.
Any particular food that you particularly like?
Pasta.
Pasta. Yeah, make a mean pasta bake then, do you?
Yeah. Bread. Love bread. All the carbs.
I'm guilty of that too, so it's all right. Okay, so moving on to the last bit. Oh, I need my phone for this actually. Thanks for answering all those questions. I feel that we've kind of got to know a little bit about you, Jess. But you're not quite off the hook just yet. We've got a 1-minute quick fire round. Now, the objective of this is to answer as many questions as possible within a minute. All right. So, oh yeah. Well, it's just whatever comes straight to your head. Keep it clean, obviously. But yeah, it starts off quite easy, and then it gets a little bit trickier, as you can imagine. So we can see how many questions here. I'm gonna with the next series of the Getting to Know You series, what we're doing now, I'll be doing this for everyone. So there's a little bit of a competition going on. All right, but you're the first one, so you're kind of like setting that standard. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Right, let me just put my clock watch to the ready. What is your job title?
A recovery coordinator.
What was your first job?
Waitress.
What is your favourite breakfast?
Pancakes.
What is your favourite season?
Autumn.
What is your favourite store?
Lush.
What is your favourite colour?
Blue.
What is your favourite food?
Pasta.
Who do you text most?
My friend Emma.
If you had to change your first name, what would it change? What would you change it to?
Jessica. So an A instead of an H.
Okay.
On Saturday.
Where did you go on your last holiday?
Paris.
What was your favourite subject in school?
Art.
Where did you grow up?
Middleton.
Oh, Middleton, did you say? We'll kind of
Yeah.
sneak that in then. That's number 12. So you've answered. That's pretty good going, I reckon. I think you've kind of set the bar there. So you've got 12 answers out of the, within 60 seconds. I probably gave you an extra second on there, but based opportunities. So, but no, I just really want to say a big thanks to answering all those questions, and especially the recruitment side of things, because I think a lot of people may watch this and might be a bit more tempted to apply.
Yeah.
And obviously some of your work colleagues will know a little bit more about you. Some clients might even know a little bit more about you. So I think from what I've gathered, you like your cats, you like staying in, you like pasta. Home bird, really, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, honestly, I really like to say thanks for taking your time to do that. And yeah, thank you very much.
No worries, thank you.